The Spirit fed at all times. That's why I tell my children, at least read one scripture a morning. At least one. That way you can have something. Because you never know, that scripture may save you later on in the day. That's just how I teach my children. Sometimes we resist the urge to go. The Holy Ghost be pulling on you to do something, to go tell somebody something, and you sit there. And what they call it, quench the spirit. You don't get up and go do what the Holy Ghost say do. You constipate. Sometimes medications is what makes us constipated. We take it and putting everything else in our spirit, that's supposed to fix the situation. How I want to say this, when your spirit man is void, we tend to take tangible things to put in its place to try to fill it up, and it's never enough. It's just a bottomless pit. Like women, we like shopping. It makes us feel good. So we go to the store and we become a shopaholic when our spirit is low. Because we can't buy enough because our spirit keep wanting to buy more and more. Our flesh want to keep buying more and more, but we never fulfilled. We can take the same pair of shoes home, just different colors, and we still never fulfill. That's called shopaholics, workaholics, anything like that. That's because our spirit is never fulfilled. Stress, that's a major killer. That is, we stressing. That's not believing, that's unbelief. Anytime you have stress over something, okay, like, where is my food gonna come? Well, where is my, how am I gonna get the money to get my food? You know how you handle that? Just for an example. That's unbelief, asking, because God provided food and stuff for the birds of the air, and if they got to wonder, I ain't never seen a bird at the grocery store counting their money, talking about, I don't know if I got enough money to buy this. Right. Never seen a bird do that. So, in order to handle that, we need to say, okay, Lord, I understand we need to announce it, petition God, say, Lord, my cabinet is empty. My refrigerator is empty. You see that, Lord, I'm going to let you handle it. And what we do is we go and we sit down and we make our grocery list because we know God going to take care of it. We don't sit there and keep going back and forth, taking it out of God's hands. Because we're going to have to make our grocery list when he blesses us anyway. So just go make your grocery list and let God just show up and show out. That's the way you do that. Most of the time we get institutionalized, which means we've become settling. Now I heard Bishop say the other day about welfare and everything, just sit, good if you need it. But just to sit on it and keep constantly doing it all the time, that's not of God. Because God, he blesses you abundantly, exceedingly. He gives us sometimes things to get us back on our feet, to get, on track and everything, but he never asked us to settle, to be there, because he wouldn't be God of his word if he did. So we got to stop settling for certain things in life and just believe God for what he said. He said exceedingly and abundantly. Some of us, we can't even wrap our mind around that. I couldn't wrap my mind around a 2016 car. That's why I was so out of it when he had me drive out 9 miles on the odometer. I couldn't. He had to elevate my mind to be able to receive. I'm still learning about that car. I'm still trying to figure out how I'm driving this car. That's my mind. He's elevating my mind. Some of us want to be billionaires, but we can't imagine. We can't even fathom what it would be like to be a billionaire. Because if God dropped $1 billion in our pocket and all of our financial cares would be gone, how would we act? We don't know until that actually happens. But that's what I'm saying. Poverty is a mindset. It's not a money set. It's a mindset. Wherever your mind is going, that's where your life will go. That's where it's going to take you. I already talked about Esther and Boaz. I just want to say God ain't going to bless no mess. Because if he ever blessed a mess, you could actually go back, and when it don't go the way it's supposed to go, or the way you think it's supposed to go, or the way that it was ordained to go, you can go back to God and tell him, God, this didn't work. What is this? You could actually go back and do that, like Adam did with Eve. But Eve, they didn't do what they were supposed to do. It wasn't on God, but Adam tried to blame God because Adam fell short. Right. So God and he gives us the knowledge. The wisdom comes in us moving to do what he called us to do. Do y'all know unbelief is a sin?
Yeah. Amen.
It wasn't an apple or nothing in the garden. The thing that the fallen man or took the world down was unbelief. When we tell God something, but we doing something else, our actions speak louder than words. Our actions show what's in our heart. Our actions show our unbelief. Oh Lord, I know you gonna bless me. I know I'm gonna give my tithes. You gonna bless me. I know I'm gonna do this. This bill come up and we down there at the payday loan place because we don't believe God gonna bless. That's unbelief. So if we believe God is gonna do something, we gotta stick it out all the way through. Now, if we can't go to God petitioning God like gonna make him do something, say, oh, I'm gonna give this. I'm gonna give $100 so that God can give me this. No. God will show up and show you who he is. You can't do that. But when you give, when you're obedient, when you're doing his word, and God will show up to show you just who he is. The only thing is he waiting on us to be in alignment with him and his word. Amen. Bishop Fuqua was talking about, how we get our blessings. I learned that, and I'm still getting there. I learned that through playing a video game. I love role-playing games because that's my way of escape. I can play a game and be in a life form that is not, it don't have the cares that I have here. That's how I free my mind sometimes. I used to love Laura Croft, Tomb Raider. She was a bad girl. She had the guns and everything. She was a animated Crocodile Dundee type female. Something that I used to love going, in the game you do flips and you gotta find artifacts and all these kind of things. It's a role-playing game. You gotta find this gem and that gem, put it in this right hole and everything, and it'll open up a whole new dimension, a whole new level. Right. That's how God does us. We running around, wandering around, looking for our answer, looking for where we're supposed to go. When God is like, I told you one thing to do. Just do that one thing. As soon as we do it, God slaps us with a blessing, we move on to the next level. Right. God slaps us with a blessing, we move on to the next dimension. Right. That's how we're supposed to be. Worry ain't supposed to be in our vocabulary. It's not supposed to be in our mindset. Because if we truly believe God, our actions are going to show it. As soon as God told Abraham, now go to a place that I will show you. Abraham got up and left. He didn't sit there, Lord, okay, which way we going? Should I take a sweater? It's going to be cold. He didn't do none of that. He just got up and went. Number 3 says, now you are clean through the word which I have spoken unto you. The word is what bathes our spirit. Some people, I want to ask, when was the last time you took a bath? Wow. Others, I want to ask, how often do you bathe? That's just the word of God. You can't, that's what washes us clean is the word of God. You can't sit up there and listen to this person and that person. Because if, God forbid, if they're not telling you the right thing, it's not going to wash, it's not going to make you clean. It's just going to add more dirt to you. That's why, again, we back to having the word. We got to be in the word. We got to carry our Bibles like we carry our cell phones. It's got to be with us at all times. Until, and even then, so he said it'll be written on our hearts. We're going to get to that. Abide in me and I in you. I looked up that word abide. I'm trying to find that definition right now.
Continues, dwells.
Right. I looked it up in the Hebrew book. And the one that I liked, the description that I liked, just my spirit just jumped. It said, take up residence. Take up residence. When we abide in God, we take up residence. But listen, he said, I in you. That means he'll take up residence in us. Imagine God taking up residence in us. Do y'all know what that looks like? Could y'all imagine what that feels like? That's power right there all itself. Not saying that we don't know now because we have the Holy Spirit, but when you sit there for a moment and meditate on what that really, really means, that's powerful. There should be nothing that could stop us. Nothing that could be in front of us. That, greater is he who is in me than he that is in the world. I sat there and meditated on that for a minute. I'm like, if I just thought of that more often, a lot of things in my life wouldn't seem as hard. I looked at that picture. I can't remember. I think it's one of Matthew's favorite ones, the ones where Jim Carrey is playing God. And he running around. Yeah. And he barking fire hydrants and everything. Some of us would be like that, and we got that. Because we be right about doing stuff because we got all this power. But in the spirit, do you understand we can do that now? If we just stayed on him and just meditate on him, the bill come, all that kind of stuff, dude. We say, okay, Lord, I don't have the money. I give it to you and go on and go on and clean the house, do what we're supposed to do. I have learned to get that way. Even like I said, the last couple of weeks ago, my car payment, I said, well, I'm just believing God gonna pay my car payment. You don't never know where the blessing come from. I was with Pastor Lee that night. Matter of fact, we was getting Wendy's for the church. Bringing Wendy's for the church. And I just happened to, I was telling him, I said, you know what? I was running about my car note and everything. I said, and I looked in the mailbox today, there was a check in the mail, a refund from the car that was turned in. Who does that? Nobody but Jesus. They gave me a refund, said that the company that I traded the car in paid too much, so they gave me the money that I needed. They gave me a check. I put that check in the bank and then turned around and gave him the money so we could get the food from Wendy's and feed the people here. Because everybody was here. That's where we got the Wendy's from. So I'm just saying, you don't never know how God gonna bless you. That's money coming in the mail that I didn't even know was coming. Right. That came from, they say, that God will make your enemies bless you. I ain't gonna say they're my enemies, but all they wanted to do was take money from me, but they had to get some back. And I'm saying that money really wasn't even mine because they gave it to the company that bought the car. They sent it back to me because the contract was in my name. So God can use anybody and anything to send you some money to help you. You don't have to run down to the payday loan. You don't have to go borrow from this person or borrow from that person. Just believe God. He will make it come through. I thought that was very powerful how he did that. I say, Lord, I started writing down all kinds of stuff I need and want. I'm waiting for God to just show up and bless this, that, and the other. But let me go through here. I know we're here late and I don't want to be here all night. I'm going to let the Holy Ghost use me though. I think that's enough definitions. Anyway, as the branch cannot bear fruit of itself. That means we cannot do anything without God. We have to have God. I read somewhere it says if you try to come to God or come to Jesus or get saved anyway through Jesus within the door, you are a robber and a thief. You got to come through God. You got to go through the process. I can't just jump in the water and come out and have salvation. I got to confess Jesus first. I got to confess my sins. I got to go through all the processes. Except it abide in the vine, no more can ye except ye abide in me. We got to abide in Jesus. He said, I am the vine, you are the branches. He that abideth in me and I in him, the same bring forth much fruit, for without me you can do nothing. God is saying we can do it together. Actually, he's not saying that he needs you to do it. God can do it, but we need him. He wants us to be able to bring more fruit, and he is there willing to help us. If a man abide not in me, he is cast forth as a branch and is withered, and men gather them and cast them into the fire, and they are burnt. So when we don't abide in Jesus, we become firewood for others. Because as people use firewood, they get warm and everything. That's not benefiting us. That's just benefiting them. That's being beneficial to the community. Here we go again. What profits a man to say the whole world and lose his own soul? There's a lot of people running around playing the hero because they don't want to let God purge and clean up the things in their own life for them to be blessed. So we got to learn to depend on God and stop leaning on our own understanding. That's one of my favorite scriptures. With Proverbs 3, 5, and 6, I got a plaque on my wall in my house. When I walk out the door every day, that's one of the things I notice, because it reminds me to trust in the Lord with all my heart and lean not onto my understanding. I want to see that on my way out every day. So that gives me the mind to trust in Him. I try to keep my mind on the Lord daily. Even though I'm on 2 buses and going crazy, I try to keep the Lord in my mind and my heart daily. I want to close with one person. I want to say, God showed me a vision through the things that happened to me. I still sometimes ask God, why did I have to go through all that? And He said it was a famine in the land. It was a purging and everything. When I came to this ministry, I had nothing. I was about to be put out in the street with my kids. My lights was going to be shut. They remember because I testified. I came to them crying out in my spirit because I had been used by other ministries that was doing the will of God or whatever, or prophets, teaching the word and everything. But the whole thing didn't line up, because when we give into the storehouse is supposed to be for those that need. It's supposed to be the restoration of the people, that's coming in. And I was doing, being obedient, paying my tithes, everything. Let me tell you something about paying tithes.
All right, man.
God never called us to pay tithes. God called us to give. When you pay something, that's another bill. You get tired of paying bills. You don't want to pay bills. You go on to do something else. When you give something, that shows your appreciation to God. That's giving your heart. You can't pay your heart. You got to give your heart. So I was in ministries and everything. I would just go to pay my tithes or whatever, because I wasn't getting any edification. They wasn't teaching me anything. My spirit wasn't, they couldn't even see the blessings or the anointing, or they couldn't even see what God was trying to do in my life. When I came here, they saw it. They told me, well, God said this, and God said, it was an immediate shift. It was just like the night Bishop Isaac came. I'm praying for him, because he only comes sometime. I'm praying for him. There's much need of him. He came, and Bishop and Pastor Lee, they saw Bishop Isaac gave him his name and his title, because they saw the gifts of God in him. That's because they not for themselves. They trying to edify and work with leaders because they all about the kingdom. They all about kingdom building. When people are stuck off of themselves, all they see is self, and God forbid they see a light in you, they're going to try to snuff it out. You know, little thing put on top of the candle to snuff the light out? That's what they try to do. I came here broken. And God used Bishop and Pastor in this ministry to lift me up. With the true love of God, He lifted me up. So out of that, just like everybody did, all the people, the one with the oil, she poured it on Jesus' feet, rubbed with her hair and everything, just like that. Sister Andrea, she even, gave her testimony about what the ministry done. When you do that, you don't have to ask for nobody to do nothing, because they're going to do it because it's supposed to be done. They know what's supposed to be done. When you want to show appreciation, when somebody feels appreciated, say, Bishop restored help me restore, got me back on track, everything, talk to me, preach to me, everything. It made me feel appreciative, and want to do more and want to do for the bishop. We operate out of appreciation and love, not out of obligation or manipulation is what it's called. You instantly want to do stuff. So as we get people in here, we doing everything that the Lord say do, healing them, restoring them, saving them, baptizing them, everything, they're going to automatically want to give. They gave me, I got the help from the social services. They gave me the money for the rent. And the woman said, she said, since I see your light bill is past due, she said, I'm going to pay that too. I gave tithes off of all of that. Because I was so appreciative. I said, this is the ministry. I said, I'm going to be here. This is the ministry. I gave it to them. That's what you do. That's out of appreciation. That's out of love. If you got ministers and stuff say, you know, they want to just go around, take 2 or 3 offerings, 500, 100, this, that. That's not of God to me. That's just me. That's not of God. Love is given freely. You don't obligate it. People get tired of being around people that's begging. I hate going to Walmart. I hated going to Walmart because I was always a target for men to come up and ask me for money. And one day, flesh or Holy Ghost, I ain't figured it out yet. One day a man came up to me. I had all my kids in a car and I just snapped. I said, I should be asking you for money. Do you see, how do you feel comfortable asking a woman with 3 kids to take food out their mouth?
Right.
How do you feel comfortable with that? Are you so far down that you done settled and that's your game, your panhandle, your game? Why you didn't, the brother over there, you didn't get over him. Why you come to me? It convicted him. And I asked him, I said, you asking for some money. If I give you some money, are you going to give me what I need? Are you going to give me a helpmate to help take care of these kids? He said, no. I figured he knew the word. He said, no. He took off and went another way. I stopped asking that question, though. Because there's some of them that say, yeah, I'll go and marry you. And then I had to say, well, you ain't ready yet. You got to get your stuff together. But I got to the point, I said, I got tired of Walmart. But you know, God convicted me. He said, don't let no devil in hell run you away from where you need to go.
Amen.
So I go to Walmart, and if they come to me, and I speak to them. I said, how are you so far down that you can't pick yourself? Get with God, pick yourself back up. Fight in the church, everything. I said, I ain't got nothing now, but I know a place I can lead you to get you some help, or change your thoughts around and stuff like that. There's a lot of people talking about they don't want to work and everything. I don't either. But God convicted me when Dr. Miles Monroe was talking about we need to get more Christians in the workplaces. We need to change things around in the workplaces. That's why I'm on the bus. And I see what he means by that because I'm on a bus. I am driving behavioral kids right now, and I am ministering to those behavioral kids more than I am driving. They're listening to me. They're getting hope. I'm talking to a generation that wouldn't normally listen had we not be in a vessel going somewhere together. If they had their choice to listen, I don't think a lot of them would be there by choice. But because they're there, they come up there and they hear what Mama B has to say. To me, that is powerful because my job became with my ministry. It's just ministry to me. I don't really work anymore. I get up every morning to go talk to the kids. So it don't feel like work. Purpose don't feel like work. Purpose feels like purpose. It's free. It's just walking in Jesus. There are more ways to get income than to go to a job. We got to get out of the mindset that we need a job. Because when that job is gone, we need to be able to depend on Jesus. Jesus will give ways for our hands, like he told the woman with the well, to get the barrels. And I'm always dependent on the job. I'm in a position right now with the tour bus company that this new woman that came into the tour bus, and she can't stand the light of this enemy. You can see when people don't like you because you are blessed, because you got favor of God. You know the difference when people walk up to you and you just feel, it ain't anointing. You feel some type of way, some type of vibration when somebody comes up against you and they don't like you simply because of the joy that is within inside of you. This woman is at my job. The foundation been set straight. I already kicked Jezebel out a few weeks ago. That's why I've been here every Sunday. This woman came back, she full of Jezebel times 10. She trying to get me to give up my Sundays, talking about I can get a tour if I go work on Sunday. Tours is where I make the tips. Because I can do a tour, get my paycheck, but then it all depends on how I give the experience to the customers, how much, their pocketbooks want to empty. I was up to, when I was doing tours, I was up to almost $200 a week. Just on one day. I think I was up to about $1,200 that later day. So I haven't had a tour. I've been back, matter of fact, I messaged Pastor and said they calling me to go back. I said, I don't know if it's a blessing or a curse. But I know that I'm coming up and I need money, for the winter break and all this kind of stuff. Plus, I was sitting up there feeling bad about not being able to do anything for the woman with the blanket and everything. Okay, I need money to be able to, you need money for ministry. Okay, so I said, I'm gonna go back. So they got me back. I'm doing the hotel pickups. It's split shift. I go in the morning, early in the morning, take the hotels, go get their tour, and then I come back late at night to pick them up, take them back to the hotel because the driver is out of hours. And we only govern 10 hours a day with DOT. Anything over that, we ain't supposed to be driving. So I'm doing those back and forth, and there's no money in that because normally they don't tip the drivers. You just a glorified taxi driver. And I was getting upset, and I was telling that woman, I need a tour. All I ask for one a week. I'm not trying to take nothing from nobody. She refused to give it to me. In fact, you can tell when somebody's trying to do something just to push you out. I told her that she was trying to push me out. I wasn't going to have that. So I went with God. I said, God, I'll quit that job in a minute. I ain't got time for all of that. God said, use wisdom. I said, okay, Lord, you mean I got to stay here and deal with this? He said, use wisdom. You know this, that, and the other is coming up. You don't want to be sitting there praying to me about this when you done just let this go. See, I said, okay, Lord. I went to work that night. Matter of fact, it was the night after Pastor Christina told me what she told me. I felt good in my spirit. I went to work. I said, I'm going to go do these hours. But I noticed something. I got them in the bus, taking them to the hotel, told them where we was going. I said, this construction over here, we got to dodge this. So it's going to look like I'm going backwards and backtracking, but I got to try to get you to I don't want to be sitting in traffic. Them people got off the bus, and they started giving me tips. I said, Lord, this don't happen as a shuttle bus driver. What's going on? They just, it was, dollar here, I had learned to pick a penny up off the floor because money is energy. If you can walk by a penny, then you don't need money like I need money. I pick up a penny. If I don't do nothing but give it to my daughter, she be dumping pennies and stuff, and she go to that Coinstar machine. She be having $20 and $30 that she gets through. I told her we gonna do it better now. I gave her some of the penny rolls. Teach her how to roll like in the old days. So we ain't gotta pay that fee, you can do that. So I pick up everywhere I see a penny, pick up a penny. And after a while, I got enough change. I used to hate carrying change because I weigh my purse down. I pick up a penny, I pick up whatever change that the Lord, sometimes quarter, whatever, and I put it away. When I don't have nothing, I dump that change out. I got just enough that I need to get what I need. Amen. So God taught me how to humble myself. He's telling me something else, and I lost track now. But I'm just saying, there are more ways to make income. Be creative. God ain't never called us to be up under no taskmaster. We ain't never supposed to be on the clock per se for somebody else, working for Pharaoh. God calls us to be entrepreneurs, network marketers. We supposed to have businesses. Right. We supposed to do things ourselves. Okay, Lord, I'm going to tell on myself. I have had a book in my belly since I was 15 years old. It's been out in pieces, never put together. You know what God does? God introduced me to somebody that published the book. That's to get me to get it together. I'm sitting there talking about I need finances. Every time I talk about I need finances, he just, the book. The vision he gave me was that book. It may or may not be a bestseller can't wrap around that right now. But it's going to be so big, I ain't got to worry about the things that I'm worrying about right now. Because it's going to be from my heart, just like he prophesied to my son. His song, his single, whenever he put that out, it's going to be big enough to take care of everything else he needs to get the studio, whatever else he needs to do. If we just do what God has in us. Our hands are gifted. Our hands are anointed to do whatever God calls us to do. I want to say the famine hit my house as far as me coming here without anything for a reason. It was my purging. I had gotten too comfortable. I'm still kind of comfortable in God. You know, I got my house shoes on. I'm just comfortable. But it came to let me remember. You know, pain comes to let you know you're alive. It came to let me remember where I came from, what could be going on. Lately, he been having me having to take, because of the construction and everything, he been having me having to take detours and stuff going down streets where I see people that don't have as much as I have. He's keeping me humble. He's stirring up my heart, because he know I have a heart. I have a heart for that. I do. I just believe that nobody is supposed to be laying somewhere where they can't get a good rest. That's just me. I have bought beds for people simply because I know they ain't got a good rest.
Right.
That's just my heart. And kids is my heart. God knows how to pluck my heart.
Yes, Lord.
Or whatever. But he showed me those things with those ministries. I'm sitting there giving. Not that my tithes is better than anybody else's. I'm just giving, you know, my tithes and everything. But when the famine hit my house, the storehouse was empty. I'm like, okay, Lord, empty. Now I'm about to be in the street. I've been giving to you all this time. He showed me some things that wasn't given to him. So, I'm saying we can't depend on the storehouse. There are people that depend on the storehouse. They, like I say, institutionalized. Some people get on welfare and they don't do it just to better themselves or allow God to lift them up. They get on to stay on. And I know people that's been on welfare for I don't know how long, kid after kid after kid after kid after kid. God never told us to settle for that. That's bigger. I mean, we're bigger than that. He told us to get businesses and be able to get employees and leaders and stuff like that. He told us to be the lender and not the borrower. That's what he told us to do. So, I thought there was one more definition I wanted to give, but I know I can't find it right now because I'm too busy. But anyway, if we abide in Jesus, we be so wrapped up in Jesus, we can't see or think of nothing else.